What's up, everybody? This is the Bros Gone Wild podcast. Hi, everybody. This is another episode of the Bros Gone Wild podcast. This podcast is a self-help, life tips, comedic angles, and overall current events in the world that you can listen to every Sunday. You can grab that coffee, get that warm coffee, get that smooth jam, and listen to, and we'll catch you up for the whole week that you missed. So, without further ado, boys, let's step right into this poll that we made on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about it?
Well, this week the question was, would you rather know how you were going to die or when you were going to die? And actually, we were just talking about how close this poll was because we got roughly right around the same percentage for both.
About 50-50 draw.
About 50-50, yeah.
How many people?
28 votes.
And it's 54%. So the question is, would you rather know how you're going to die or when you're going to die? And 54% said when you're going to die, 46% said how you're going to die.
I said when. I would rather know how, or I would rather want to know when you're going to die rather than how. Because
really,
how everything that happens that is like close to like that,
it's always on your mind.
It's going to be freaking like, if there's a freak cause of death that like out in public something could happen.
Yeah.
Every time if you get hit by a car, you're going to die by getting hit by a car.
That's what I'm like.
Every time a car drives by, you're scared.
Being extra careful. Yeah, you be on your toes.
If I know when I'm going to die, I can make the best of the last few days.
No, I 100% agree. If I knew how I was going to die, it would just scare the hell out of me.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing if you get it and even if it said you'll die to cancer, and that's all it tells me, or something along those lines, I'd be checking that all the time. I'd be it would just kind of freak me out.
No, I couldn't agree more.
And it would take away the livingness of my life.
well, I thought about that part of it too, but I don't really want to know when I die. I thought about it. I don't want to know.
I wouldn't want to know either, but I
probably wouldn't want to know either as well.
Like, I just want to live my life, and then whenever the sweet Lord takes me, she takes me.
Well, dude, this is a connection to The Flash.
Oh my gosh.
Because he knows when, I guess his bride, what's that girl? He knows when his bride is going to die, and they're trying to make changes in the present to fix the future, in a sense.
So he's like altering the past.
Does she know?
Yeah, everybody knows when she's going to die, which is pretty crazy.
It is weird.
Like, you see
I would
her
hate
die,
that.
and so now they're just doing a bunch of stuff to try and change the future. So he proposed to her because he noticed in the flash forward that she wasn't wearing a wedding ring. So he's trying to alter that sense of it. So other stuff might get disturbed in that path to that death future. But yeah,
That's crazy.
That's weird.
It'd be dope though if you looked at it. It says like 9-2 or something. Like, hell yeah. I don't know.
I wouldn't be a fan. I don't know. I feel like you'd just be counting down the days, marking them off on the calendar, and you'd just be...
Well, that's something that's kind of interesting. If you put that out on display so you can put countdowns on your computer or whatever, what have you, and seeing that number every day tick down, almost in a sense, is that motivation, kind of realization that I only have 5,000 days left on this planet, or whatever that could be. Obviously, that's very short, but it's an interesting concept. I think it would be. I probably would want to know.
Would?
I would.
When?
I think I would. When I would die.
If somebody offered right now to give you that information.
I can let you know exactly the day you die, I'd go. Let me hear it.
No.
No way.
I think I would do it.
That's information I don't care to know.
If you said tomorrow, I'd go, all right.
Dude, no.
I'm going to bed, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Go out,
Catch you in the morning.
Do some heroin on my last day.
Wow.
Let's try it all.
Try it all.
Then you don't die and you're hooked on heroin.
It's quite extreme, yeah. It was just they were bluffing.
Wait, so do you really If you had to pick one, though, if someone said, I'm going to tell you, that you would do how?
Yeah, probably. And the only thing, you guys touched on it earlier, the only thing that would suck is you'd just be so anxious. So if you die in a car crash, every time you get in a car, you're going to be wondering if that's going to be the last
terrible.
time.
Yeah, that'd
But
be freaky.
I feel like you'd get over it, and I don't know. I don't want to know. Like, people are always interested in death and how they can avoid it, and they want to find out when and how. I don't know. I don't want to find out when or how if I don't have to.
No, I feel that heavy. I feel that really heavy.
It scares me.
It does. It definitely does, and it's not something necessarily fun to think about. But
No.
I'm very surprised how close the poll was.
Yeah.
Me too.
It's something that stuck out. But yeah. I guess, anyways, what's going on in the works? The Masters on right now. Tigers have been playing quite a
Tiger
bit.
just started up.
Just got
Love it.
started up.
Love it. Dayton wanted to talk about what, Tiger?
Tiger. Not
Tiger
the
Woods?
Tigers, Tiger Woods.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, we were just having a little discussion before we actually started the podcast about Tiger Woods and just how he kind of was the king of the world and then just kind of wasn't.
Yeah.
And I was reading up on his scandal and stuff again because I should say, were a little young, so I didn't really wrap my head around it, but I'm kind of reading about it now. And dude just like to fool around a lot, right? Is that basically what it was?
Yeah, he was married with a kid, and he was cheating on his wife, and honestly, I'm not too sure what happened, because, it's terrible they cheated on his wife stuff, but is it like that? Like, big of a deal to make him fall from where he was?
He's Tiger Woods.
He's Tiger Woods.
Well,
Like, he
part of it
slept with a
was-
ton of women, I understand that, but...
I think a big part of it was the media just attacked him.
They did.
It was
They
pretty
had
bad for a
voicemails.
while.
They did, but at the same time, like, there's so many famous people who sleep with everybody they can get their hands on.
I know.
Like, why was it so special with him? Like,
I think
feel
it just kind of hit him hard.
it did.
And people
And
stepping
it
out.
ruined his life, dude.
Well, yeah, I think what screwed his game up so much was because he was getting all that bad press and he was dealing with a divorce and he was dealing with all this stuff, he decided to take, I think it was
break.
something like 6 months off or
Is that what it was?
something like that. And for those golfers,
It's a lot of time.
that's a lot of time. And those guys play literally every single day. And they say you're not going to be pro unless you put in the absolute time. So that break almost kind of screwed him up. And then now he's just injury. So
Yeah, it's always on SportsCenter. You'll see Tiger Woods says he's going to play in the Masters. It's like, all right, 2 weeks later,
Bad back.
he's withdrawing from them. Like, he's not going to play.
yeah,
It's just,
It's too bad.
wish you could see him. a
I
couple more
know. I
times.
love rooting for him.
And I think a lot of what made it so bad was it wasn't just all of a sudden it was just Tiger Woods cheated with all these women. It was like one woman came out, then some voicemails came out, and then he crashed his SUV. Remember that whole big
yeah.
ordeal? Like,
Yeah.
there was a lot of shit that just happened, so just kind of dragged on.
It hit the fan fast.
Didn't go away. And he lost all of his sponsorships just about.
That's
Yep.
right. Yeah.
He was on top of the world. He had
Yeah.
Gatorade Tiger.
It was
Tiger.
so good. I miss Gatorade Tiger so
I know.
much.
I actually forgot about Gatorade Tiger. That shit is dank.
jeez.
You got to be some type of fucking famous to have your own.
Gatorade.
Nobody else has ever had that, dude.
That's
He's the
no.
only person.
That's right. I forgot about
Gatorade
that.
LeBron.
I wonder if there's anywhere you can still buy like all those.
I bet it's
off-the-shelf
only on the
drinks.
black market.
No, it's just not made anymore.
No, but someone's got to have like a case of that shit sitting somewhere in like a storm cellar or something.
Yeah, the red and yellow flavors of Gatorade Tiger, uncanny.
Gosh,
Oh man, I do miss that.
I do miss the old days. I do.
Oh, speaking of old days, me and Jonah got into this interesting discussion on whether you do it or not.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you could do a step back in the past. So you hear people all the time that go, "Man, I wish I could go back to being in elementary school when everything was simple." And,
Right.
and people, for some reason, think that's the best way to do things a lot. And me and Jonah just kind of started discussing it. So the premise is you could go all the way back to when you're in elementary school. And so you say you're in third grade again. You go back to that same mental state. You go back to everything how it was back in that day. literally just a rewind.
Everything would stay the exact same.
You know exactly what you knew then,
Yep.
and you follow that exact same.
Yeah, the outcome stays the same.
Every single second from then until now is the exact
same.
Right, but you don't. But like when you're living it, like
you don't know that. Obviously,
and then once you get back to this point right now, that's when you realize that you did it. Would you do that to relive?
Oh, dude,
another 20 odd years? Just relive.
Oh, it'd only be like a decade, right? It'd be like half your life.
That's a good point. I didn't think about it. Yeah.
Well, but still, I'm not saying that's like a short amount of time to relive. I don't know. You know, I probably. Do I have to go back to elementary school, or can I just go back like a couple of years?
No, it's definitely elementary school. You got to relive all that. 7th grade.
Wow, I don't think I
grade.
would. I don't think I would. Realistically, probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking like, I don't know. I didn't have like I don't look at elementary school and be like, oh, the good old days, but like,
no.
I mean, they were good. I enjoyed it. Like,
yeah, it was definitely.
If I ended up right back here where I was, and it's not in like, I feel like I'm actually like living my life, not just kind of like, holy shit, there's another decade. Like if I, was in the same.
Yeah, and you got to.
And I knew the same thing was I'm gonna be right where I am today. I don't know. Maybe why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely have to know that I get back to here.
Yeah,
hopefully nothing gets screwed up or whatever that might be. It just
that's interesting. That's an interesting question.
I know, and what I wanna. I mean, 7th and 8th grade, there's a bunch of bitches. Like, people were kind of annoying in that time.
Oh, there's awkward stages.
There's definitely. It was
sure.
just. I don't know. Would I want to go through that again? I'm pretty happy where we're at, dude.
But like the best part
it's not
the fact of wanting to get out.
No,
it's the fact of extending living in a way.
We were so oblivious to those things, though, like those awkward things and stuff. So you'd go back and like you kind of are cringing at it now, but you don't even really you wouldn't realize it, and you didn't realize it.
Yeah,
we all didn't.
No, and me and Jonah were even talking about what if that story or that hypothetical situation was altered to be. You do have your exact memory now, and you go back to your body in 2nd grade, or
you're talking like you wouldn't be able to make friends.
You would have 0 friends.
Because think about
couldn't talk to those kids.
Think about you being in a 2nd grader's body. You have no type of like things in common. Like there's like they have a second grade knowledge, dude. They still believe in Santa Claus. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're right. I didn't even think about that. I
physically couldn't be friends with all those kids.
No.
It'd be terrible.
You'd drive you nuts.
Yeah.
But you'd be the fucking smartest person on planet Earth, though.
You'd be on television, I think.
Yeah, I don't.
No doubt.
I think you'd
definitely be on TV.
Yeah. Things might be a little bit different.
And using some awesome grammar and vocabulary, and everyone's like, "This guy's in 2nd grade." I'm listening to podcasts and stuff. But whoa, wait a second! Think about the kind of investments you could make. And
when this rewind takes place, are you saying you have the brain function of us right now, or you have the same memories and everything? Because if you have the same memories and everything, you could technically tell the future.
That's what I was just connecting in my head as well.
Well, I think in that situation, you wouldn't necessarily go to where you are now. I think you would just kind of like you'd go.
Yeah,
and that just kind of implants you into 2nd grader and like today.
I agree.
Oh,
yeah, you'd have to take a different path, probably.
No, you wouldn't be able to line up.
Yeah, you'd just be a 2nd grader. I agree with that for sure.
It'd be like
because that'd be cheap.
How did you guys even think of that? That's so like
it was getting down and dirty.
Yeah, I don't. He just kind of asked me one day. I was sitting at my desk, and he came up and was like, "You want to? Would you go back?"
Some Benjamin.
I think it was because I saw someone on Twitter say, or on Instagram, or something along those lines, say, "I wish I could go back to elementary school when I would have to study for a spelling test." Or something like that. Or I was like, oh, jeez.
Dude,
all right, unfollow.
I used to study my ass off for those things. What are you talking about?
Yeah, dude.
It was a joke, though. Some of the
Are you going to the mall?
Like, we took spelling tests every Friday. I can't really remember ever getting more than 1 or 2 wrong. And I wouldn't study. It was just like, you spell words.
I was a pretty smart kid.
I don't really have much memories from elementary school.
I remember Jay Wright had an issue because he got a couple wrong on the spelling test. And
really?
Started crying, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that was my first memory with Jay Wright because I sat right next to him.
I remember there was some legit cheating that would go on during those spelling tests. I 100% remember because we had to put up the dividers. Those folders. I 100% remember seeing. I don't know. I don't think I took partake in that, but I remember seeing kids work stuff, like put stuff in their folders that they would have in front of them. It was just the list of spelling things they had to remember was right there.
No,
I do remember that.
I saw Armani do that a few times.
Classic.
That's so funny.
It's brilliant. Yeah, you start them young.
Spelling tests. So weird concept.
Yeah.
What would we do at the end of the year every year? We go outside and do all those, like, field day. Bro.
Gosh, there was some lit events.
We had some lit shit going on in elementary school, dude.
Recess.
Clarkson does it right.
Yeah.
Just recess in general.
You just say recess.
Dude, I remember getting into some intense pizza games out on the...
Dude,
every time I bring up, or anytime that someone comes up, Andrew makes fun of me for pizza so much because I ruled the land in pizza.
Dude, it was fun.
It was so fun.
It was.
And it'd always just be that one weird kid that's like, no, I'm not going to play. I'll just be a pepperoni. Just lay in the middle.
Do you remember this?
Dude, hold on.
Wait,
I've never
the
heard
people
the
that
pepperoni
sit on
thing.
the bars, are they
Just
called
sit in the middle.
pepperonis?
They just sit in the middle.
Dude, I think you're right. Yeah.
It makes
It's
sense.
just weird.
It makes
100% makes
100%
sense. That's hilarious.
Did you guys play? Did you guys play a lot of the football outside with everybody?
Yeah.
Where we do tag football and all that, and Josh Cobalt, and we play with all those kids.
No, Josh Cobalt. Josh Cobalt didn't go to Bay Lake.
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Oh yeah, he had that long hair. There was a girl that was a unbelievable quarterback.
Really?
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Whoa, who is it?
I don't think she transferred or something.
Why you sound so surprised by that?
Don't remember. No, I'm just. She was bigger than everybody too. She's like 6 foot, as what it seemed like. I was that.
God.
I'm in second grade, looking at this
Brittany Griner.
massive.
Dude, that's what it's in elementary school. There's a lot of that where the girls are bigger than the guys.
Yeah.
My sister's like the biggest person in the school.
Addie?
Yeah. Like,
Addie
she's
Walker.
massive.
She's such a sweetheart.
She's funny.
Yeah,
Her friend.
Yeah.
So Addison's in 4th grade. Her friend just got suspended the other day for punching a boy in the face.
Wow.
Oh my God, clocked him?
Clocked him right in the right in
Do
the
you
nose.
guys remember Cavandre? In the scenario that happened out on the scenario that happened when I believe I was in 1st grade.
Oh yeah.
When I happened to be climbing the monkey bars at an inopportune time.
Yeah.
Wait. Just took it. Yeah.
So, actually, take it back. This was definitely kindergarten. And you have those, because kindergarten was half days.
Right.
So you go out on the playground when not a lot of people were out there, when you had your recess, because it was just different from everyone else. So we went out there when it was just our kindergarten class. So it wasn't very many kids by any means on the playground. And I was just climbing up a normal jungle gym kind of thing. It was an angled up, maybe a 45-degree angle going up. And he was right on my tail as I'm climbing up. And it was a little close, and I didn't really know what was occurring. And it was just like I was climbing up normal. And all of a sudden, I feel this sharp pain on my left buttock. And I yank my head around, and he's sitting there like with his teeth out almost. And then, of course, I'm in kindergarten, so kid just bit me in the butt. I start crying, and I don't know what to do. I end up going down, and I think because I was crying, maybe the recess lady, the kindergarten teacher, came up and asked what was going on. About 30 minutes later, I'm in there with the principal. Principal's looking at my butt. My dad came in. It was a weird situation.
That's awkward.
Did they have to give you like a vaccine or anything?
I don't think so.
Rabies.
Dude, I had a full-blown bite mark on my butt. It was a hard bite, by no means.
Dang.
So what'd they do? Exile him? Like,
You got expelled?
Yeah, eventually he got expelled.
Oh,
But he got suspended for, I think, like a week or something like that. But, dude, what kind of sick animal does that?
dude, that's a crime where the punishment should be like tarred and feathered or something like that. You know, something ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
Something humiliate him because you just got a chunk of your ass bit now.
That's rough.
Humiliate him in the public square.
In the
Stone
public
him or something.
Throw some weird ass stuff at him.
I asked him about that altercation. I think it was only a few years after it happened, and I don't know. I think when we were playing Bulldogs in middle school, I had asked him. Denied it.
Completely
denied it.
Dude, he got suspended for that.
Oh yeah,
My dad picked me up from school. I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure it's in his record
it's
somewhere.
Definitely documented somewhere.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
sure
not
somewhere.
get that twisted.
Well, I believe, yeah, it's got to be.
Huh. Yeah, this was a step back into the past.
It was.
For sure.
Well, current events.
Current events going
No
on.
current events
in the world.
for you.
Dude, I don't know. I've been kind of out of it this week.
Well, we could talk a little bit
Definitely
about
been focusing on
the
school.
bombings in Syria, or is that too political?
No, I don't know. There's
I don't know. I don't know a ton about it.
There's not much to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't. Oh yeah, the Syrian government.
Oh, because
killed a bunch of their own people.
Yeah, go ahead.
Chemical warfare.
Yeah, they released a chemical weapon, and a bunch of kids died and killed a bunch of their own people. It was wild. There's a bunch of pictures that you can see of dead kids, and it's
terrible.
It's hard to look at.
Yeah.
But Trump shot 59 Tomahawk missiles at the airbase from where they like originated the attack, or like from where the chemical bomb was like set off, or I don't know.
And you said Trump fired. Does that mean he used his executive order?
I'm not sure how that works. So like, there's some people who say that he was supposed to like get congressional approval before he did it. He didn't. It was just his decision. Like,
I saw tweets about that.
He's commander in chief, so I think it might be kind of a gray area, because people are saying that's an act of war, and you can't declare war without Congress.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not saying that it's war, and that it was just kind of like retaliation for killing a bunch of innocent civilians.
Yeah, Syria is pretty crazy. I was even thinking about one of the quotes I've in a way been living by recently is just the sense of it could always be worse. Whenever I have a problem, or whenever some shit has hit the fan, I just think to myself, well, it could always be worse. And
it could.
And just thinking about growing up in Syria right now as a kid, how different that life would be is just unbelievable to me.
The world is so massive. They're so far away from us. Like, that's another world over there. What's really going on? Like, we live a completely different life, and just our opinions on everything, how we live, what we do is so different in every single way from people, even just on the other side of the world.
It's unbelievable.
It's ridiculous that we're all kind of like this one planet that all works together. Like,
and we're so radically different from some areas. It's just surprising. And that's part of the reason I think I definitely got to travel at some point in my life.
I really want to travel.
It's definitely something that needs to be done.
It kind of makes you understand like how people like have such different ideas.
It helps you understand humans. It's a huge part of it.
No doubt.
Yeah. Do you plan on traveling, Dayton? Is that something that you're going to do, no doubt, or is it like, kind of something
there's some people,
certain places.
Some people that really want to do it, other people could care less.
It's something I don't feel urgent to do, but at some point, to do it. I don't know. It's probably going to be a retired thing for me, though.
Gotcha.
It's something I really want to do.
I was thinking about it very recently, in the sense that there's a chance I work 2 years of my job after college, maybe get some money in the bank,
retire,
get a little extra funds, and just
escape.
Try and take a 6-month leave.
Wow.
And just do
6
some
months.
Weird stuff, and just experience it.
So you want to do yours like all at once. Like, you want to travel, like you don't want to take like a vacation here and travel, and then you just want a big chunk of time where you can just
like
explore.
I'm leaving my job for
it's a sabbatical. Isn't it? It's a sabbatical, isn't that what they call it?
Sabbatical, yeah, that's technically what it is, but it's not a sabbatical if you're just leaving your job for 6 months.
A sabbatical is them like telling you to go do it. See, I kind of would just I mean, if I could do it all at once, that'd be cool, but kind of spreading it out, and that way, like, you experience different things in different points in your life, and you're looking at the world different, and, you know what I mean? Just kind of spread it out.
Yeah.
But I really want to go to Europe.
No.
Yeah.
I would love to take like 2 months and travel around Europe. It'd be so cool.
And there's a story that partially kind of made me think about this a lot. and it's this guy. I don't know his name, but he has interviewed some of the most prolific athletes, most prolific people in general, famous, whatever have you, and he did this in a sense, basically what I just described, that he left his job after he was making a ton of money as something, investing and whatever, and he decided, I can't do this anymore. I don't fit in with these people, and he decided to leave U.S. and live on the other side of the country, basically, for 10 years.
In the world or country?
Or in the world, excuse me.
Okay.
Whether, I think he was in Europe, I think he was all over. For 10 years he left and then came back, but the way he kind of lived and had a place to sleep every night, because he did have money, but that's a long time. And the way he had a place to sleep was he would get on a train, and his whole point of getting on that train was finding somewhere to sleep that night. So he would get on that train, and the first thing he would be doing immediately was trying to find an old grandma, an old whatever it might be. He'd sit right next to her, and he'd go, all right, so I've been trying to figure this out. What's the best way to make, it's like some sort of pasta. I forget what exactly he called it. I've never really heard it. So what's the best way to make this pasta? His grandma turns to him like, oh my God, gets deep into it, starts explaining it. Why don't you come over tonight? I'll make some, no problem. And then he would be having that other conversation. These other people start coming up and say, oh no, mine and this and so-and-so. And next thing you know, he's got a place for 6 months after that small conversation of everyone just taking him under their wing. And
that's awesome.
And yeah, he just explained that he took all this knowledge that he's traveled the world and brought it back here. And he's unbelievably successful. And he said he would not be the same person he is today without that experience.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's interesting.
If that was an opportunity, I don't know. I'd like to do something like that, but
10 years is a long time though.
10 years is quite a while.
That's so long to never have a. So he couch jumped for like 10 years,
and I think he started some sort of business over there too. So he probably settled down at some point there.
Wow,
that's a hell of a way to live, dude.
Be so different.
Not knowing where you're gonna stay at night.
Yeah,
be tough.
It'd be very stressful. But then you just would become so good at interacting with people, though. That's what would be cool. Understanding of it. What about you, D? What's in the works in the spheres?
Not a whole lot. I kind of zoned out during part of that. Sorry, I was reading an article about the kid that got peanut butter smeared on his face here
in Central.
Yeah. It just went to the prosecutor, so I just was reading a little bit more about it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that was just kind of a screwed up situation.
Explain it a little bit.
Oh yeah, so sorry. The Alpha Chi Rho, which isn't actually a registered frat house here, got into a hazing incident in October, but it wasn't reported till February. And this kid was allergic to peanut butter, or is allergic to peanut butter, and they knowingly knew that, and as part of the hazing process, I guess you'd say, they put peanut butter on his face while he was passed out, and he woke up and there's a picture of it. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have seen it. Mm-hmm. His face is just ballooned.
It's terrible.
Mm-hmm. So that's finally getting taken care of, because that poor kid had to transfer the day or two after he transferred. Yeah, he transferred colleges right after.
That's so messed up.
Wow, yeah. I didn't know that part.
He was really, really embarrassed. I feel really bad.
Dang.
Yeah,
that's so sad.
So that's
people were freaking out when that first came out.
Yeah.
And I remember everyone was bashing Central fraternities and sororities and saying that Greek life at Central is horrible. And then those people stepped up and said, no, they are not associated with Central, and everyone, it was a big situation for a while.
Gave us a bad look.
Yeah. No,
as a university.
That hazing stuff bewilders me.
Yeah, they don't do it much anymore.
No.
But I guess it used to be really bad, or so I've heard from older generations.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's never really what I've been into, the whole frat and sorority thing, you know?
It's just not for me. I agree.
And that has nothing to do with it.
No.
Just going off on a separate topic.
Yeah, on a separate topic.
Yeah. It's just
I can't say exactly word for word why I don't want to do it. I just can't see myself fitting in with that group of people.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good enough answer, but
I don't have that many experiences going to crazy frat parties or sororities. A few here and there. And
Yeah.
Josh and I, on St. Patty's Day, went to the Den, which is PSP's B house, like their B party house.
Yeah.
And we saw some weird stuff at that house.
It was interesting.
One of the bedrooms had just a go-kart in there and nothing else. We somehow managed to get back to that go-kart and screw around on it.
Why on earth was that go-kart in there?
I have no idea.
Yeah, and then there was... Remember those people that punched the hole in the wall and stuff? That was crazy.
See,
people just go nuts there.
It is. It's just so...
It's such a different crowd.
It is, yeah. It's like almost barbaric.
It is.
It is.
I'm not really a fan of like big parties.
Honestly, I agree.
Josh and I...
Sometimes.
Yeah, Josh and I were talking about this.
We were.
We just kind of like... You go and you just kind of stand around. I'm not a big dancer. So I'm not going,
No.
unless I'm very intoxicated. I'm not out there dancing, going nuts. It's loud music that, quite frankly, I don't really like that much. I'm not into the rap and a lot of stuff that people like.
It's just exhausting.
And it's just like it's loud, so it's hard to talk to people.
Yeah.
And then like a lot of times if I go and I don't know anybody, it's even more like.
Exactly. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
I don't know. I like smaller get-togethers where everybody's casually hanging out.
Yeah.
And people.
They always say the
can talk to
pregame is better
people.
than the post.
Yeah.
That's it. That's about it.
It seems like that's true, almost.
And don't get me wrong, it's nice to go for a little while, just because you're fulfilling those college stereotypes. You're getting that,
right?
You're getting that sense of being at a party and knowing what that's like. But
yeah,
I've done it quite a bit. I mean, I'm good. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys know. I did.
You do.
I'll go to pregame and everybody leaves to go to the party and I just kind of slide out.
Yes.
Don't really say much. Just kind of disappear.
Where's Jonah?
Those places are always inhabited with those, and I'm not saying everybody there is like this, but
no.
It seems like a lot of people there are looking to do a lot of heavy drinking and heavy drug use, like over the top, almost excessive, to a point.
Those people like to drink. I can tell you that much.
Josh and I talk about this all the time. In a matter of about 10 minutes at that house on St. Patty's Day, we were offered Molly 4 times, something like that.
It's like, where are we?
Like, it was a St. Patty's Day party. I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's the middle of the day.
It was the middle of the day.
Oh my God.
In someone's basement.
Yeah. That was wild.
I don't know. It's funny.
What have you?
There was something I wanted to bring up to you, Josh. I don't know. Oh, okay. So it's about UFC last night.
Oh shit!
So these two have went to some weird UFC viewing party where they got robbed. No, but so I was watching SportsCenter this morning since I was up early, and I saw the Weidman fight. The other guy, who was he fighting?
I don't remember his name.
It starts with an M. Musasi. Yeah. Whatever. Well, that guy, kneed him, and they ruled it an illegal knee, right?
Kind of.
They ruled it an illegal knee, and then they went back, and the referee apparently talked to another referee who was sitting on the side, and then reversed that call. So Weidman went from winning it because the other guy got DQ'd to having to fight on, and then lost.
Well, it didn't start after. It was over after that scenario when they stopped it.
Oh, okay. So they did the fight in completion.
Yeah. So
and then they ruled an illegal knee from earlier in the fight.
So what happened?
And then they changed it.
So the fight was at Madison Square Garden, and I guess there's some different rules that apply to there. But anyways, this happened. So he kneed him twice. And the first knee was legal, and then the second knee, he had all 4 parts of his body down for a second. But while he was doing that second knee, he lifted him up barely and kneed him in the head. Just about knocked him out with that knee.
Yeah.
And the ref, like you said, he called that an illegal. But I guess the rules in Madison Square Garden work that they can look at replays.
So the way I understood it on SportsCenter is that different states have different rules for fighting.
That's, I guess,
and so if it was, because like Michigan, there's a big board for boxing and MMA and UFC in Michigan that have, slightly different rules and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
So each state has their own set of rules. So my understanding is that where the fight was taking place, that you could actually reverse a call via replay or whatever. But if it was taking place in a different state, they might not have been able to do that.
And that's why people were really confused as well, because they didn't know that was a rule necessarily. So they did that, and they should have, right when they found out that it was the ref made the wrong call, they should have just started up immediately, but they gave them 5 or 10 minutes to recuperate.
So that's an advantage for the other guy.
Yeah.
That's a huge advantage for Weidman.
For Weidman. And Musasi's getting pissed because let's just fight. Let's get this going again. Whether he can't just sit here and recuperate and whatever. And there was a bunch of dispute, and all of a sudden they decided, because it was a legal knee and everything, and the concussion specialist, I think, came out and said, he can't fight. This is over.
I didn't know they did that.
And then that was pretty much it, I think.
He looked a little disoriented, though. He looked like he was confused.
He was getting dominated the whole fight.
I didn't know that was a thing in UFC where they stop it because the guys messed up. Like, I didn't think that was a thing.
I think part of it was they were doing the playback. They were looking at the review of it, and and they were trying to figure out what ruling they should make. And that's when the specialist came out to make sure he wasn't dead.
Yeah, but even if there wasn't that stoppage and it was just kind of like the end of the round, he would have kept fighting.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have stopped it. So
who knows how long it would have went on after that, though? Because that dude could.
Yeah, it wasn't going to last much longer.
He put his feet together, and he was.
Yeah, that was one of the things the specialist did. She, I think it was a girl. She had him stand with his feet together and just try and stand up straight. And you're watching him fall left and right as he tried to just stand
Dude,
up.
that stuff's so scary.
My
Are you
word.
kidding me? You're so messed up in the head that you can't even stand up.
It's a good thing they called the fight. Honestly.
Definitely is.
It was okay that they called.
Definitely.
I never used to like UFC. I've started to like it more. And my dad hates it. He hates just the fact that it's a sport where you're going out there and the objective is to literally knock the other person unconscious.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is wild. And the fact in a world that's getting even more increasingly knowledgeable about head injuries and this and that, and they're kind of stopping stuff. The fact that this is thriving is weird. And I think what my dad has thought, which I think what I agree with, is just kind of the fact that think about the type of people who fight UFC are genuinely thought to be lower class, or
that is the general opinion. In a way.
So it's not, people don't really care about it as much as say football, who and these guys are big, famous. You got Tom Brady out there taking shots to the head, and whatever, and people are going to lose their minds. But if some no-name guy who is struggling to make a living then it's acceptable.
No, I agree.
It's interesting, the contrast in it.
Yeah, and the difference, I guess, between the people that just watch one or are very invested is the people that really, really, really like UFC. They are jiu-jitsu fighters, and they respect the art of what's occurring. Rather than people from the outside are looking at it thinking, why are these barbaric guys just going at it, trying to kill each other? But when you watch it from that trained eye, you have a ton of respect for the kind of grappling they do, the kind of moves they put in. It's just a different aspect and different fan group.
I've started to like it more because I'm more watching it as like a match. Like two people are a match and an art. They're it's a lot of strategy, and it's these guys are very calculated in what they do, and I can see the enjoyment in that, and I do like it now. I've started less going to these guys just bloodied up and just taking shot after shot.
Definitely.
Yeah. Such a hard way to make a living, man.
It'd be rough.
A lot of those guys don't really have much of a choice.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
That guy last night, who I can't remember. You'll know who it is. 37-year-old. It was his last fight.
Cote.
Was that who it was?
Yeah. You put his gloves down at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just trying to put bread on the table, baby.
Just trying to keep the lights on. I couldn't. It'd be a pressured life too, and You just don't walk away the same, I'm sure.
Oh,
How many have you ever seen, like, been watching a show or a fight, and someone just takes a horrible like dick shot below the belt? Does that happen often? Because I feel like that doesn't happen.
It like
I feel like I never see it, and it should happen.
It's because
I've seen it
it's illegal.
Well, yeah, obviously it's illegal,
And
but
you know
get
these
something
guys,
like 5 minutes to get back to it.
and these guys are super professionals. They can coordinate a punch wherever they want or a kick. You know, everything that they're doing is pointed and targeted to a specific. I want to get you in the ribs because I've gotten you in the ribs 8 times.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to, so these guys know what they're doing. It happens, but it's not. It doesn't happen as much as you might think.
a flying knee.
It's kind of more like awkward situations when it happens, right?
It's almost an accident
when they get caught.
It's like a weird movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I listened to a decent amount of Brendan Schaub just talking in general, and he at one time explained that when you're in that UFC, you're almost in the blackout stage in your mind, in the sense that
drunk, just wasted.
in the sense that you have so much adrenaline going that you don't even really you go through all your training so that it's so natural to you at that state, and you get drilled in the balls or whatever it is, but your adrenaline's so high that, it hurts, and it would hurt 10 times more if it happened to me right now. But you're in that state, and you got 10,000, 20,000 people watching, so you're at a live event, so it just doesn't really...
It's fight or flight.
It's fight or flight. It doesn't phase you as much as you kind of would think, in a way. Damn. But it totally could change a fight, getting hit in the balls.
Be horrible.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't have a ton of cool stuff to talk about myself. There was this study that everybody's concerned about smartwatches and walking the 10,000 steps every day. That's been the big thing. And I guess the new study is that for obesity that you should do 15,000 steps now.
Oh my God.
So is that saying like 10,000 steps would be okay to like average, but if you're trying to lose weight, then 15,000 is what you want to do? Or is it saying just you should be walking 15,000 steps a day?
It's sort of saying that, don't get it twisted, 10,000 steps is great to do, but if you want to, by the study that was done by a scientist, 15,000 steps is a lot more beneficial and not that much more effort, and that's what they're trying to get at. So if you're doing 10,000 and you're trying to hit 10,000 every day,
it's not bad.
Maybe try and get to 15, because that'll actually do a lot more.
I had a Fitbit over the summer for a little bit. I ended up losing it. But
I thought you were going to say losing weight or something. I lost the Fitbit.
No, I lost the Fitbit. But my dad's really heavy on his Fitbit.
People love that stuff.
Yeah, him and one of his buddies who actually played football at Central has one, and it's who turned my dad onto it. And apparently he walks like 30,000 steps a day. Doesn't work out. His sole workout is walking the 30,000 steps a day, and he says he can eat whatever he wants. He says he's doing it, does wonders for him. He's super fit, in shape guy.
Good for him.
Walks his 30,000 steps. And
what exactly does he do to walk them?
Goes for
walks.
I think so. I'm not too sure.
Interesting,
but it was something like that. Yeah. So if you're just trying to
lose some
casually
weight,
do it without doing a hard workout,
it's not a bad way to live life. They say
life tips, bro.
They say just walking they say just walking outside on a nice day, and it's so good for just your happiness, your overall
vitamin D, baby. Gotta get that D.
I should really walk the dog more in the summer on a nice day.
That'd be great, dude. Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, it never sounds good.
You never got into that game, did you, D?
What game?
The Fitbit or keeping track of your health or...
Not really the Fitbit or keep track of my health as far as like using like a watch.
That's
or
all
something.
I was getting at, yeah.
I mean, when I was younger, I always had that speedometer for like a little, not like forever, but I had it whenever they would come to school and they'd give them out at the assemblies.
People shaking.
Those were cool.
So I thought I was hot shit with that, but other than that, I mean, I used to do one weird thing where I would keep track of my sleeping patterns with my phone at night, but I wouldn't.
That app.
Used to do that.
Yeah.
I did that too.
Brad used to do it, didn't he? Or somebody used. Yeah.
Yeah,
was that Brad?
Brad did it. Yeah.
I don't know.
That was interesting because read your sleep and woke you up slowly when you were coming out of certain rounds.
You'd set like
awesome.
like a range of the times you wanted to get up, like between like 7 and 7:30.
But I have to be up at
7:30, right?
And it'll start waking me up at 6
when you're like in your
slowly,
like your best level of sleep. It was weird.
Yeah, pretty cool though.
Interesting.
Yeah, I never found it doing that much though.
I never did either, to be honest with you.
And what's so weird is this culture is so into knowing everything about what they're doing all the time. What kind of difference does it actually make? Knowing that I did 10,000 steps a day, knowing that I slept does it really give you that much?
Well, I think the 10,000 steps is just.
I'm not saying the steps per se.
Just for you to know where you're at and have a target, so it's almost like a work-out.
Yeah, I reached my steps today.
Right, it's not. Yeah, I think that's more.
All I was getting at is everyone's so interested in their analytics of life that it's weird. I've kind of lost interest in that kind of stuff, personally.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I lost my Fitbit, I was like, oh, well, I was kind of over it. I was over it. But,
yeah. Guess that's pretty much it. I mean, the Masters going on right now. Tigers are playing. Yep. Who you got in the Masters today?
Wow, it's a loaded leaderboard right now.
Sure is.
Spieth's up there, Fowler, Sergio, the best golfer, never won a major. And I don't know, maybe Spieth.
I like the guy.
Dude, he's played in 3 majors. He's never finished worse than second.
That's
I did not know that stat.
He finished second his first year, then he won it, and then he choked last year.
The British Open, is that the one he won? That he won by a ridiculous amount?
I think, no, he did that in the Masters.
That was Masters? Okay.
I think he won the Masters by a big margin 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, he's a cool guy, and he's unbelievably nice. And
Dayton and I were talking about
root for the guy.
He's 23 years old.
It's crazy. What were you telling me about him with his
caddy?
Yeah, how does that story go?
So I told you I watched the thing on his caddy, but I don't think I ever got into it. So what I turned it on probably a couple minutes in, so I'm not sure his first interaction, how he met Spieth, but it was something where he was at a country club and he saw this 16, 17-year-old kid carrying his own bags. And so I think he went up and caddied for him, and I think he might have caddied for him during the summer, and I think they got relatively close. But once the summer ended, he was a school teacher, so he had to go back to work, and it kind of fizzled out. And one day his wife was just like, you should, because he's like a huge golf fan. And his wife's like, you should totally, you would never forgive yourself if Jordan got big and you missed the boat, you're super into golf, just go do it. So the guy quits his job teaching to go caddy for a 19-year-old kid.
Oh my god,
that's a lot of faith in a kid.
19 years old, leaves his, he's a solid job.
Oh yeah,
and goes to caddy, and now they're best friends.
Oh yeah,
and
sure.
He's making millions. I mean, those caddies make 10%.
Oh, it's nuts how much they make when you look at it.
Good for him.
The guy's been on
great story.
Sports Center commercials. And
that's cool.
It was I saw one where it was like a mac and cheese. Jordan Spieth was sitting in the calf and he was eating mac and cheese. And all of a sudden the caddy's sitting behind him and Spieth has a fork in his hand. And he just goes, "What do you think?" Caddy just goes, "Looks a little soupy. I would go with the spoon." And he goes, "Yeah, you're right." They switch it out for a spoon.
Oh my god.
Great.
It was funny.
Oh my god. That's
amazing. Imagine him making every decision in your life having to ask you for that. Dude. Oh, that's funny.
That is funny. That's a great dilemma too to portray in a commercial.
It is.
Fork and spoon. That's so
clever.
It's clever. It's very clever.
Very clever.
All right, boys. I guess that's probably going to do it this week.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you want to keep up with our comedic angles, follow us at BGW Podcast. You can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Twitter, Facebook, what have you. So, I guess that's going to do it this week, boys. Cheers.
Cheers.